We're here this morning with Shalisha.
Hi.
We have some questions from our wonderful audiences who'll be coming in.
Yeah.
What was your experience of Romeo and Juliet or Shakespeare at school?
At school? Yes, I did it later on in secondary school. But it was very basic, and I guess we always saw it as a love story turned into a tragedy. And that's as far as we went in terms of unpacking Shakespeare. And I always kind of found it so kind of boring because I never understood any of it really. I wasn't heavily into poetry then, and I was like, why can't he just use normal language? Why are we studying this when we could be studying a play that we actually understand? So yeah, I grew up not really being really into it, and then when I knew that I wanted to be an actor, I was like, okay, well, I definitely don't want to do Shakespeare because of my experience in school of Romeo and Juliet. But as I got older and I had to study it, when I was training to be an actor, I had to really just put all those sort of preconceptions of it and my experience of it before that to the side and actually unpack it. And I find it so exciting. It's so the complete opposite experience now.
And now you're performing Shakespeare at Shakespeare's Globe Theatre.
Yeah, which is crazy. I mean, I've done a show of Romeo and Juliet before when I was training, and I played Juliet, which was crazy because I never thought I'd be cast as Juliet, being a black actress and that, and not really having that anybody to really kind of look up to in that sort of sense. And I always thought that I could play, I don't know, maybe Mercutio or the nurse. I always thought, let me just audition for the nurse because that's a safe bet. So when I was asked to play Juliet, I was like, what? And so that was great. And to explore her, Romeo and Juliet was set at school. It was set in the 50s. So it was very kind of sexy and loud and big. And so when I came to find out that I was doing Romeo and Juliet on the actual Shakespeare stage, the Globe, that was just incredible because it was a story that I know quite well after doing drama school, and to play Benvolio, which is traditionally a male character. I was so excited. It's a dream. I remember 2 years ago sitting outside the Globe being oh my gosh, wouldn't it be insane to be there? Yeah, maybe when I'm 50. So yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah.
Had you seen anything at the Globe before?
Yes, I saw, it was the last play that Emma Rice did here actually, the Cymbeline. Imogen.
Yeah.
And that was insane. And I came with the cast of R&J that I did previously, so when I was actually training. And I was standing, which I think is the best thing to do when you come to the Globe. I mean, to be fair, I haven't actually had a seat, but I've only stood, so I can only say that. But it was just so cool and vibrant, and I was like, is this actually even Shakespeare? The way that I could understand it and follow it, and just how, some of the actors were in the pit with us. That was just crazy. I'd never been in a performance like that before where I could almost touch the actors. Yeah. You're not allowed to do that. But yeah, so that was amazing. And seeing a lot of actresses that looked like me on that stage as well, which was just so lovely. And it was very accessible, I found.
And now these kids are going to come, stand there and see you guys perform on the stage. You can kind of appreciate it from both angles.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I remember it so clearly, watching a show on the Globe and it wasn't that long ago either, but it looking so huge. But actually, we've been on the stage already to take in the space, and it is as huge as it looks. Sometimes when you go on a stage, oh, it's not actually that big from looking at it, but actually it is a huge space. And I think when I was younger, when I was 15 and 16, going to the theatre was quite accessible for me. I feel quite privileged that it was an interest of mine, of course. My brothers didn't care about going to the theatre. I obviously, and my mum would take me to the Nottingham Playhouse and to the Nottingham Theatre Royal, which is obviously where I'm from, and I'd see shows and a lot of pantos mainly when I was that age. But the costumes and the lights and the music, especially when it's music that I recognise, it feels much more accessible, and I think the Globe does that really well too.
Well, we can't wait to hear how your journey on that stage progresses. And we'll look forward to talking a bit more about Benvolio and what you're discovering in our
Amazing.
next catch-up.
Yeah.